Cochlear implants are small electronic devices that are used to allow people with serious hearing loss or deafness to be able to hear. Part of the device is implanted into the ear in a surgical process, while the other part, a microphone and sound processor, clips onto the back of the ear.
How somebody hears with an implant, the microphone picks up the sound, changes it into electricity, sends the information across the skin to the internal implant, and that sends little pulses of electricity to the electrode in the cochlea. Then these little pulses of electricity are picked up by the hearing nerve and interpreted as sound, so a message is sent to the brain to say that a sound is heard.
The sound isn't exactly the same as with natural hearing, but with time and practice, users can experience huge benefits.
It was absolutely the right thing to do, and once I started getting back my hearing, could start having conversations with people, it gave my sanity back. It was new, it was strange, it was different, but the fact that I could have a conversation with somebody and I could hear my new granddaughter cry, it makes an awful lot of difference. Particularly as I have normal hearing up to the age of 55. So after that, I felt a bit adrift.
Some 13,000 people across the country have cochlear implants, with around 1,000 getting them at the Southampton Centre. Every year after the implant, patients must return for a routine appointment to monitor their hearing, check the implant is working correctly, and allow for some fine-tuning. But a new clinical trial is allowing for much of this to be done by patients themselves.
From talking to patients, we've had a lot of feedback that sometimes when they come to a routine checkup appointment here, everything's fine, there's no problems, and it's lovely for them to come and we love seeing them, but a lot of our patients do live quite a long way away. Some people live 3 or 4 hours drive away, so it's a question of whether it is in the patient's best interest to come on an expensive journey, take a day off work. Some deaf people don't feel confident to travel alone, so sometimes they will bring another person with them. So what we wanted to do for this trial was to give people the tools to be able to take care of their own hearing at home. So for patients who've had their implant perhaps more than 6 months, when things are reasonably stable, what we're inviting them to do in this research project is to have some tools to help them look after their own hearing at home.
The new clinical trial that's just begun in Southampton is giving patients the tools they need to monitor their hearing, do checks and alterations to their implant themselves via enhanced features on their remote control, and an online care package.
So we have 60 patients involved. 30 of them are on a remote care pathway, 30 of them on the standard clinical pathway. Those 30 people on the remote care pathway, we're giving them some tools to enable them to manage their own hearing. So number one, we're giving them the ability to be able to check their hearing themselves at home. So what we're doing is giving people a hearing test they can do themselves at home anytime they want to, just to check that their hearing is still stable. We're also giving them the ability to be able to fine-tune their hearing with the implant. So when patients come for an appointment to the clinic, we generally make some adjustments to their sound processor, maybe make it a little bit louder or adjust the balance of sounds. And then the third part is, at the University of Southampton, we've developed an online care package, which what we're trying to do is cover all the other needs that the patient might have.
Those needs range from problems with the device itself to managing the psychological impact of hearing issues. Martin is one of the patients on the remote pathway.
I find I'm getting more involved with controlling my hearing as I go along, and this helps stress levels an awful lot. I've sometimes done the 160-mile round trip, and we've moved one electrode, one tiny little bit, And that's all that's happened. Now that could have been monitored, and I could have done that from home, and could have seen that things were okay. And all that data is going into what I believe is the way forward and the future. And this is just the beginning of something that I think will be far more normal, particularly for the younger tech-savvy generation. It will be water off a duck. It will just be absolutely natural.
Of course, going it alone doesn't suit everyone. Some patients prefer the face-to-face experience with a clinician.
This kind of approach isn't for everybody, and what we're hoping to do after the research project is done is look at which parts of it were useful, look at what parts caused problems, what parts people couldn't do, and then we're hoping to offer it to our patients as an option. So we're never going to stop people coming here, and there'll be lots of people who won't want to use a tool like this, or who it won't be appropriate for, but we're recognising that all our patients are individuals, and for those that want to take control of their own care, we would like to offer them the tools.
The trial has just started and lasts for 6 months, so the researchers hope the findings will be available by the end of this summer. After that, some of the tools may be rolled out to people with cochlear implants across the country. Charlotte Briere-Edney, that's Solent.